Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
The number one thing is as we're going along here and with the safety of everybody involved, and we're just not going to let people and protesters in large groups come in and threaten officers. That's not happening.
After an intense clash on Highway 1806 overnight, tensions over the Dakota Access Pipeline remain high. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Today, law enforcement from Morton County defended their actions and explained their approach during the altercations that began last night and carried over into the early morning hours. These pictures show some of the chaos. Police used crowd control tactics to deal with about 400 protesters that gathered at the Blackwater Bridge, which is south of Mandan. Some protesters set cars on fire, prompting fire crews to use water hoses in an attempt to put them out. Morton County Sheriff Kyle Kirchmeyer says that the hoses were then used to repel protesters after they reportedly began to get aggressive with officers.
We are reactive to what they do. We're not out there looking for anything. We are here reacting to them to make sure that the public and the protesters, when they're doing this, stay safe. But they have to do it in a lawful manner.
When they throw rocks and bottles and shoot, flaming logs at us and stuff like that, then that is crowd control.
One officer was injured after he was hit in the head with a rock. There was one arrest made due to one protester's crossing over the police safety barrier.
And more arrests were made after protest activity in Bismarck today. A group of pipeline protesters marched to several places in downtown Bismarck. Police say about 100 demonstrators walked to Wells Fargo Bank, then moved to the Federal Building, and then returned to the downtown area and made a circle in an intersection by linking arms, blocking traffic and crosswalks. Authorities say they arrested a man for disorderly conduct. After his arrest, the group moved off the streets and to the Mandan Law Enforcement Center. They were asked to leave but refused. 16 people were arrested.
The Dakota Access Pipeline protest has gained nationwide attention, with some protesters targeting the media, including Valley News Live. A campaign has begun to target media organizations that protesters feel are being biased toward them using social media. The lists are telling people to call different North Dakota agencies along with media outlets. Valley News Live received more than 24 calls today. The people admit to using a list and are from states like Florida, California, and Texas. One protester spoke with us saying he is fighting for human rights.
If news stations are covering it more, then more people would see it and more people would essentially, quote unquote, try to fight back, like in lack of a better term. They would try to stop it more because I feel like it does need to be stopped.
Our sister station in Bismarck had about 50 protesters outside of their station today. They were reportedly chanting. One person was later arrested.
As protests against the pipeline continue, the drain is not only being felt by the law enforcement community, it's now starting to affect our children's education.
Governor Dalrymple put about 100 guardsmen on alert back in September, and now some are already being mobilized. That includes a member of the Guard who is also a music teacher at West Fargo Cheyenne High School.
Valley News Team's Bradford Eric talks with a group of music students who say they're concerned for their teachers' safety.
The students of West Fargo Cheyenne are feeling the impacts from the pipeline protests now too. And their music teacher, James Landman, is leaving Harmony for disruption. I caught up with those students here at the Fargo Dome.
Mr. Landman is the reason that I joined the Army. I am actually in his unit. He's my commander. I can't get deployed because I'm still in high school, but I feel like I should be there with him.
He just gives me some good life lessons to live by, and it's just really helpful to know that he cares about you and how he wants you to succeed at life.
Landman is one of those teachers who, he cares a lot, so it'll be hard without him.
Obviously, since he's so important to us, we're concerned for his well-being. I think that he'll be fine enough, but obviously we're always concerned. There's always a chance.
He won't be in any immediate danger, but like Kyle said, anything can happen. So we're definitely going to keep him in our thoughts.
That's why they're getting sent in, not because they're being peaceful. And it's just, if it was just North Dakota protesters, none of this would have happened. It would only be the local police or anything like that. But now we have to send the National Guard in to help. So it's a little frustrating. Yeah.
It didn't need to happen. It's kind of unnecessary that he had to go and that all this is happening. But it is what it is, and we're just going to try and make the best of it.
We know we're in capable hands, but missing the passionate motivator that Mr. Landman is going to be the hardest part about that.
The music students tell me there's all-state band auditions, music festivals, and their Christmas concert looming on the horizon. They tell me Mr. Landman will be replaced by a person they had as a student teacher before. Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
We were unable to reach James Landman for comment today.
Tonight on Point of View, Energy Transfer Partners CEO Kelsey Warren discusses the environmental impact that the pipeline might have and safeguards to prevent spills.
So you encapsulate the crude that would be on each side of the body of water and limit what might be spilled if there was a spill. However, I will tell you, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, this is state of the art. This complies above and beyond every law required by our federal government and the state of North Dakota.
Energy Transfer Partners is the Texas company that's building Dakota Access Pipeline. Tune in to hear more tonight at 6:30 on KX4 on Point of View with Chris Berg.
We are in for some changes tonight, and it looks like the weather coming our way will make driving tricky. Let's head right over to Hutch Johnson for a check of the forecast. Hutch?
Thanks so much, Andrea. As you head into the overnight hours, some of this moisture we're seeing on the radar out to the west will be heading our way, and the peculiar part about it is we're seeing a smorgasbord of colors, and that means a little bit of everything. Rain, sleet, freezing rain, and also freezing drizzle with some snow involved as well. Now, not everybody that you see on the radar here with activity over the top of us is seeing anything reaching the ground just yet, although a few of us may be. A wintry mix is in the offing as we head into the late overnight hours. Now, we'll have that chance for freezing rain where the ground is the coldest, and some of it could accumulate by morning where you see the pink areas. Even up toward the Devil's Lake Basin, we could see measurable amounts of freezing rain or freezing drizzle up to around 1/10 of an inch or more, with snow in the forecast as well for tomorrow. So a slippery concoction will hit the road surfaces tonight. Pretty quiet until around midnight here in the FM area, and then things get a little dicey and icy. I'll have hour-by-hour details here in just a moment.
All right, thank you, Hutch.
Most people don't read the side effects of the prescription drugs that they're taking. That was confirmed in a recent study. And those side effects could kill you. Crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson spoke with a local doctor who says most people are prescribed too many drugs in the first place. Look for her story tonight on Valley News Live, 10 at 10.
Grand Forks has landed a nearly $3 million settlement after FedEx recently moved its air cargo operation from Grand Forks to Fargo.
Meanwhile, Fargo is giving FedEx a $600,000 tax break. As Valley News Team's Neil Carlson shows you, Grand Forks officials say it's a loss, but they're still in good financial shape.
When FedEx flew its Grand Forks air cargo operation to Fargo, around half of their 75 employees also went to Fargo. But officials say, financially speaking, the Grand Forks Airport's budget remains in good shape.
The director of the Grand Forks Airport Authority says in so many words, sure, the loss of FedEx was a bit of a blow, but it's not the end of the world. The airport authority has received a $2.75 million settlement from FedEx because FedEx got out of its lease for this facility early.
We'd rather have them still here. FedEx was a long-term tenant, over 30 years on the airport here, and a very strong tenant. I think we grew together with them and would rather that they be here. But we're moving forward, and this was a fair agreement that we were able to come to.
The $2.75 million settlement gives Grand Forks $900,000 to pay off bonds on this building it owns. Plus, they can set aside $1.8 million to replace the $700,000 a year loss of income from FedEx as they shop for a new tenant.
Even as simple as storage in the wintertime, those sorts of things. You know, we have a building, it's secured, it's heated, and so on, and at least in the short term, we're going to explore all various options.
So the Grand Forks Airport is left without FedEx as its tenant, but it does have a financial cushion to find a new one. In Grand Forks, Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
And FedEx says it's investing more than $6 million in its air cargo handling facility in Fargo.
No football, no concerts, but there's plenty of food at the Fargo Dome. Later on Valley News Live at 6, how far along they are in filling the Fargo Dome.
Radar shows bands of snow and blue, but some sleet and some freezing rain potential as we head into the overnight. We'll have hour-by-hour details in your forecast coming up right after this.